She left you. And right now, you're sitting there wondering how everything fell apart so quickly. Maybe you're replaying every conversation, every argument, every moment where you could have done something different. Maybe you're angry, maybe you're devastated, maybe you're both. But here's what I want you to understand. She left you, and that might be the best thing that could have happened to you right now. I know that sounds harsh. I know it doesn't feel that way. When someone walks out of your life, especially someone you cared about deeply, it feels like the world is ending. It feels like you've failed at something fundamental. But what if I told you that this moment, this exact moment of loss and confusion is actually the beginning of something much more important? Think about it. How long have you been living your life trying to be the person you thought she wanted? How long have you been dimming parts of yourself, avoiding difficult conversations, or compromising on things that mattered to you just to keep the peace? How long have you been sleepwalking through a relationship that wasn't bringing out the best in either of you? The truth is, most of us don't realize how much we've been settling until the settling stops. We don't recognize how much energy we've been putting into maintaining something that wasn't truly working until we're forced to redirect that energy elsewhere. And that's exactly where you are right now. She left, and now you have a choice. You can spend the next few months spiraling, trying to win her back, analyzing every text message she doesn't send, checking her social media like it's your job. You can make yourself smaller and smaller, convinced that if you just figure out the right combination of words or gestures, she'll come back and everything will return to normal. Or you can recognize this for what it really is, your wake-up call. Because here's what happens next. If you let it, you're going to rediscover who you are when you're not trying to be someone else's version of perfect. You're going to remember the dreams you put on hold, the friendships you neglected, the parts of yourself you buried because they didn't fit into the shape of the relationship you were trying to maintain. This is going to hurt. Let's be clear about that. Grief is not optional when something ends. Even when that ending is ultimately for the best, you're going to have moments where you miss her so intensely it takes your breath away. You're going to have days where you question everything, where you wonder if you made mistakes you can't take back. But here's what else is going to happen. You're going to start sleeping better, even if it takes a few weeks. You're going to stop walking on eggshells around conversations that matter to you. You're going to start making decisions based on what you actually want, not what you think will avoid conflict or disappointment. You're going to remember what it feels like to be excited about your own life again. Think about the last time you felt genuinely enthusiastic about something. Not grateful, not content, but actually excited. When was the last time you made a plan that was entirely about what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go, who you wanted to become? If you're struggling to remember, that's exactly the problem this breakup is solving for you. She left because the relationship wasn't working. Not just for her, but for both of you. Relationships that are truly working don't end because one person suddenly decides they want something different. They end because both people, often without realizing it, have been settling for something less than what they actually need. And settling is exhausting. It's exhausting to constantly monitor your words, your reactions, your desires to make sure they align with someone else's expectations. It's exhausting to love someone while simultaneously trying to convince them that you're worthy of their love in return. It's exhausting to build a life around avoiding the conversations and conflicts that might actually lead to real intimacy and understanding. So she left. And now you get to stop being exhausted in that particular way. Now you get to be exhausted in better ways. You get to be tired from pursuing things that matter to you, from having conversations that challenge and inspire you, from building relationships based on genuine compatibility rather than convenience or habit. But this only works if you resist the urge to immediately fill the void with someone new, or to spend all your energy trying to get her back. This only works if you use this time to actually figure out who you are and what you want, not just who you think you should be to keep someone else happy. Here's what that looks like, practically. You're going to spend time alone, and you're going to learn to enjoy it. You're going to pursue interests and goals that have nothing to do with impressing anyone else. You're going to have conversations with friends and family that go deeper than complaining about your ex or analyzing what went wrong. You're going to start paying attention to what makes you feel energized versus what drains you. You're going to notice which activities, which people, which environments bring out the best in you, and you're going to start organizing your life around more of those things. You're going to develop standards. Not impossible standards designed to protect you from ever being hurt again, but clear, reasonable standards about how you want to be treated and how you want to treat others. You're going to learn the difference between compromise and self-abandonment. And eventually, when you're ready, you're going to meet someone who doesn't require you to be anyone other than who you actually are. Someone who challenges you to grow, not by criticizing who you are now, but by inspiring you to become the best version of yourself. Someone who chooses you not because you've convinced them to, but because they genuinely want what you have to offer. But that person can't show up in your life until you know who you are outside of relationships that aren't working. They can't recognize you until you recognize yourself. So she left you. Good. Now you get to find out what happens when you stop trying to be the right person for the wrong relationship and start becoming the right person for your own life. This isn't about revenge or proving anything to her. This isn't about becoming so successful or attractive that she regrets leaving. This is about remembering that your life is yours to live, that your happiness is your responsibility, and that sometimes the most loving thing someone can do is refuse to enable you to stay stuck. She left you, and she did you a favor. Now it's up to you to make sure it counts. The next chapter of your life is beginning. Make it worth the ending that got you here.